Hello Year 8. So we are carrying on looking at the nutritional requirements of kind of different groups of people, and we're focusing on athletes today, specifically actually Olympic athletes, although it can be kind of drawn down to anyone that is competitive in a sport at a reasonably high level. So first thing you're going to do, and this PowerPoint will be put as an editable PowerPoint onto Teams so you can access it to actually do the tasks on here directly. If you are working on pen and paper at home, that's absolutely fine as well. You'll just have to kind of sketch a couple of bits out, but it shouldn't take you very long to do that. So the first task is you're going to drag the foods into the correct categories. So for example, you've got an apple here, you would click on that and drag that into the fruit and vegetables. You've got butter here, you drag that into the oils and spreads, and so on and so forth. Okay. There will be an answer PowerPoint on Teams as well, so you can check your answers once you have completed them. So, second task is to do with the Eat Well guide. So we've mentioned the Eat Well guide a couple of times before, and it's essentially something very, very simple that anyone can follow in terms of the amounts of different types of foods we should be having on a broadly speaking daily basis. So again, similar to the task before, you're just going to click on the different title and the different examples, and you're going to drag those into the corresponding sections on the Eat Well guide. So each, obviously the big sections are sections that you should have more of the food in. The smaller sections are the sections where we should be eating less of it. All right, like so. So what you're going to do then, if you open the PowerPoint that you're going to work through on Teams, if you open it in presentation mode, you can then just click on links like this and it will take you through. If you're just looking at it in kind of the editable mode, if you right click on it, it will give you the option to open hyperlink, and that will open up whatever it is, the video or the link that is on there for you. So we're going to have a quick look at what some athletes eat in a day. So we can have a look at the activities that they do each day, the foods that they actually eat, and how those foods help them perform. So different nutrients within the different foods play a different role in our body. All right, so we've already covered a few of those in previous lessons. But if they were, for example, doing some kind of strength training, they're going to need foods that are high in protein, things like meat, things like eggs. If you were vegan, you might have things like beans and pulses, because they're going to help repair the muscles and the muscle fibers that are broken through strength training. So if I click on this link, I'll show you where it takes you. I'm not going to show you the video through this video because it loses a bit of quality. So it's on this Get Set Eat Fresh website, and if you just scroll down, it's this video here, all right, and it will start playing through. So that will be linked on the assignments tab on Teams as well for you. What you're then going to do with the information from the video, and there are these Audi ambassador profiles that you're going to use as well, you're going to fill in this table. So you're going to find out what activity one athlete and then two athletes do each day, the food they eat, whenabouts in the day the athlete exercises. Is it early in the morning, in the evening, throughout the day, more than once? When they eat, and it's really interesting to see when they eat in relation to when they train. Most athletes performing at certainly like an Olympic level, a very, very high competitive level, competing kind of internationally, are likely to have sports nutritionists or a registered dietitian that will work with them so that they can plan the most appropriate food sources for them to get the most out of it. Food is fuel. It's also very important for enjoyment, but for someone that is training at that level, they've got a very high calorific requirement. They need a lot of calories per day because they're using a lot of energy, and so having that energy come from the right nutrients is going to help them work a bit better. So imagine a car. Some of you might know, some of you might not know, you can get kind of the standard fuel you put in the car, and then you can get some fancy fuel. I don't put the fancy fuel in my car doesn't really need it, the normal fuel does the job and it's fine. If I had a very expensive car, certainly like a sports car, a classic car, something like that, I would be more inclined to use the fancy, more expensive fuel because it's going to do the job better and that car will benefit from it more. Alright, so if I go back a page, you'll see along the bottom there's all these names. These are all the Audi ambassadors. If you click on them, again like with the video before, if you're in presentation mode, you can just click on it and it'll take you to the website. If you're on the editable mode, you just need to right click and open hyperlink. And if you scroll down, it's got information about the athlete and then kind of a day in the life to do with their training and their food intake, and then some of their favourite foods at the bottom. And those will help you fill out this table. Once you finish that, you're going to move on to this section, and it's what should your athlete eat. So up here, write the name of the athlete, the sport they compete in. So that example I've just done was Jade Jones, her sport is Taekwondo. And then here, you're going to write down the food that athlete eats. So if you go back to their profile, bear with me, I'll open it back up again. So it's asking what each section of the Eat Well guide, what foods they eat for those sections. So if we scroll down, so her Super 6 fruit and vegetables, and so that would go in the fruit and vegetable section. She's got mangoes, blueberries, so you'd write mangoes, blueberries in here, and then you go down, you'd fill these all out. You'll then, these gold, silver and bronze medals, the food group that she has the most of in a day, or your athlete has the most of in a day, you'll award a gold medal, and then silver for the second, bronze for the third. This question 3 task, write down the activity your athlete does and the food that fuels them. This is where you might want to use Google a little bit as well. There is also another couple of resources on the assignment section on Teams, which will give you some of that information too. So here you might write strength training, and then the foods that are going to fuel those are protein-rich foods. When you are strengthening your muscles, essentially your muscle fibers are broken, and when they repair stronger. But in order to be repaired, your body needs protein to do that. So it might be foods that have got meat in, foods that have got eggs in, pulses, beans, they're all high in protein, and so that's what you do for this task. And question 4, you're going to explain how your athlete uses food to reach their goal. So if their goal is to be able to increase their strength, like I've said before, they're going to increase their protein intake and increase their strength training to allow them to do that. If it was to increase their speed, you might have a little bit of protein, you might have some carbohydrate because they need the energy. That's what you're going to do for question 4. And then you'll do the same thing again if you have time for your second athlete. You'll probably find this one a little bit quicker to get through because everything will make sense, and certainly this question 3, there will be a lot of similarities. And then there's just a quick little activity that you can have a go with at the end. I'm not going to click through it on here because I want you to do that on your own PowerPoint for me. Oh, it will click through, but I'm not going to talk about it. And then there's just an extension task at the end, which essentially is exactly the same as that athlete task, but you're going to do it based on your own food intake and the activities that you do. Okay? Thank you, Year 8.